welcome back to the channel. Just back with a quick FPL corner video for those of you that play Fantasy Premier League. We're going to be covering Game Week 26, what I'm doing for Game Week 26, what I'm planning to do or what I think I might do, how I did in Game Week 25, because if you watch the end of my last preview video, you'll see that I hadn't made up my mind yet. I did make up my mind. Let's see if it was a good decisions. And yeah, just kind of looking at the game weeks ahead, you know, what the plans are, what you might want to do going forward. So let's get into it. Over on this side, I've got my FPL team up, and last week I got 92 points. Now, that sounds good from overall perspective. 92 points sounds pretty good, almost 100. But as you can see over here, I took -8, right? Because I made 4 transfers, had 2 free transfers, made 4 transfers, and those transfers were Tarkowski. I think I bought in Salah and Gakpo and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So I bought in the Liverpool boys basically because they had a double game week last week. Wanted to cash in on those points. Kind of worked. Salah got 11 points, doubled to 22. Trent got 13 points, and Gakpo not so much, not so good. But the worst entry in this team this week was Tarkowski. I brought him in because Everton had a double game week. Didn't go to plan. He got 1 point in the first game and then -1 in the second game. Ended up with 0 points. And obviously, because I took a -4 to bring him in, net points, obviously you mathematicians can let me know that wasn't so good. -3 overall for that one transfer. Also, Mitrovic didn't play. It just wasn't, it could have been better. And I think overall I actually went down in the overall rankings. But once again, in terms of my mini leagues, I'm doing all right, still in a shout of winning those mini leagues. But more importantly, let's look at what the plan is going forward, because there's a few things to consider. There are a lot of things happening in the FPL world at the moment in terms of blanks coming up, double game weeks coming up. And one of the main FPL guys I follow is Let's Talk FPL, and he's released a really good video just covering the double game week 27, blank game week 28, double game week 29, kind of covering those. If you want to go check that out. But in terms of what I'm thinking of doing, there's double game week not next week, the week after. So a double game week 27, and the teams that will be doubling in that week are Brighton, Brentford, Southampton, Palace. So let's actually look at it down here. So we've got 26 coming up. Then we've got 27, which is the double game week I just mentioned. You've got Brighton doubling, Crystal Palace doubling, so because they're playing over here as well and over here. And you've got Southampton and Brentford doubling as well, playing against us, and Brentford playing against Everton. So, you might want to stack up a little bit on Brighton players, maybe Brentford players like Tony. Then you've obviously got the week after that, which is going to be Game Week 28, where there are there's no doubles, there's some blanks. So I think the teams blanking in that game week are United, because we're playing in the FA Cup. I think basically the teams that are playing the FA Cup and the teams that are facing them, right? So Brighton, United, Liverpool, Fulham, City, and West Ham. And then you've got the big double game week in Game Week 29, where there's so many teams doubling. I think there's got like 12 teams doubling. So I'm not going to list them, but you can kind of check that out yourself. And like I said, check out Let's Talk FPL's channel if you're really into FPL. And then there's future game weeks as well that are going to be blanks. Like I think Game Week 32 should be a blank, and potentially a double game week in Game Week 34. So what does this mean? It basically means you need to decide what to do with your team, right? So I'm in the same level. I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do with my team. Am I going to wildcard this week to kind of prepare for the game weeks ahead and kind of get the team ready? Now, usually I wouldn't really wildcard. So let's go to the transfers screen, right? And I usually wouldn't wildcard before around this time of the season. I'd wait to the international break, because obviously you've got like the 2 weeks or a week and a half to kind of really go through your team and plan exactly what you want to do. So I think that is coming up in game week, end of game week 28, ahead of game week 29. That's the international break. There's quite a long period, a gap between there where teams go off to play wherever they want to go off to play. So usually that's when I would wildcard. But I'm thinking I might wildcard this week. And the reason being, I've already taken a -8, right? last week, as you saw, and I kind of want to bring in some Brighton players. They've got two. I just mentioned they've got two double game weeks coming up. Obviously, they've got the blank in between, but Brighton are playing well anyway. I also want to get rid of Tarkowski after the disaster that was me bringing him in. So I want to get rid of people like Tarkowski, probably Trent, definitely Gakpo, and just kind of maybe Mitrovic for Tony. To get rid of this guy because he's injured, he's out for a while now. And maybe swap Kepa for the Brentford goalkeeper. So looking at that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 changes I want to make, and that would be obviously not going to do that. Minus 20. So it's either I make 1 or 2 changes for this game week. Just kind of keeping, maybe get rid of Mitrovic, bring in Tony, and maybe take a -4, get rid of Gakpo, bring in Mitoma from Brighton. So let's do that quickly so you can see what I mean. So let's say we keep everybody else, take a -4, bring in where's Tony? Tony is at Brentford. So bring him in, and then bring in a Brighton midfielder. Now it's a bit touch and go because I think Mitoma's actually, no, he's not. Okay, it says 2. Yeah, I thought Mitoma was yellow flagged, but it's actually Estepinian, who I'm also considering. Anyway, so let's say we bring in Mitoma, and then we go with this team for this game week, right? And then maybe wildcard next game week, 27, with a bit more information. But once again, that's still before that usual international break that I like using. So I'm still not sure. And so I could do this, but looking at it, that means I'm keeping Trent against Marcus Rashford, keeping Salah, who I probably will want to keep anyway, depending on whether I want to go for Kane or Salah if I went on a wild card, or and keeping people like Bueno who are injured. I just don't know about this. I don't know about doing this and taking a -4 as well. Like I said, the alternative is to get rid of these guys. Trent out, Tarkowski out. And the reason I'm getting rid of Trent really, or I would be getting rid of Trent, is he's quite expensive. 1, 2, he's got United next. And 3, then they've got a blank in game 28, which is not the biggest deal because I can obviously make changes ahead of that. So let's say we get rid of these 2, Bueno, probably get rid of, okay, I've already made those other 2 substitutions with Matoma and Tony. And let's say I bring in, this guy, Estepinian, who is another Brighton player. I'd also want to get rid of Kepa Arrizabalaga. So let's go back to Brentford, bring in Raya. And once again, that's because they have really good fixtures coming up. We've got a double game week in 27, double game week in 29, okay? And they're not blanking in 28 actually as well. So that, Brentford players are probably a really good shout at the moment actually, maybe even a Brentford defender. So looking at it this way, right? Maybe let's say I bring in, let's just for hypothetical, bring in Ben Mee, Brentford defender. So then you've got, and also actually I've already got the Brighton what's this guy, Brighton defender in already. Then you probably want to make, if you're using wildcard anyway, right? You probably want to make the optimum choices, right? So then you'd probably get rid of Ben White, even though to be fair to him, he's done really well for me. You probably get rid of him, bring in maybe Zinchenko because he's probably got more points. Like he's got more ability to get higher points, right, than maybe Ben White. But like I said, I'm actually quite loyal to I feel quite loyal to Ben White, and overall this season he's been better than Zinchenko. But that's because Zinchenko's been out injured a few times. So then if you're on wildcard, you make these kind of little changes. Maybe get rid of this guy. And obviously definitely get rid of Bueno. In fact, could I bring in both White and Zinchenko? But no, I've got too many Arsenal players. Crazy, right? And maybe even get rid of Odegaard for Martinelli. As you can see, there's so many decisions that I could make, and I'm thinking either I'm doing that wildcard this week because there's so many changes I'd like to make, or waiting until next week. One more change that I could have made is obviously get rid of Salah, Greenwood, swap them out, basically bring in like a Kane. And the reason I say Harry Kane is because look at the fixtures that Spurs have got. One moment. Look at this. So they've got really good fixtures coming up. Wolves, Forest, Southampton, Everton. You'd expect them to win that, but then again, it's Tottenham. So he's got good fixtures and he's not blanking in 28. They've got no doubles, but it might be a shout instead of having Salah. But knowing me, I'll probably end up keeping Salah anyway, instead of Kane. So then it'll be like it'll look more like this, and have somebody else as another defender there. So those are kind of the plans I'm thinking of doing. As you can tell, I haven't made up my mind. It's either going to be a wildcard this week or wildcard next week, though. I think probably after doing this, I'm thinking probably this week. But there's the video. Just oh, sorry, one more thing before we go. Let me quickly do my captain choice. Right. It's going to be between Saka or Haaland, in my opinion. Saka's got Bournemouth. Bournemouth are basically top. I think they're bottom of the league. I'll probably go for Saka, but then obviously you've always got the Haaland can get a hat-trick anytime, but he's facing Newcastle. Newcastle, a really good defensive team. Obviously Haaland is at home, so it's a bit of a who knows. But I think I'll probably go for Saka as my captain. So yeah, that's it really. That's my thoughts, where I'm at, what I'm thinking of doing. Obviously very unsure, and I can assume a lot of people are unsure whether to wildcard this week or maybe leave it till next week as well. But I'm leaving it there. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you play the game. If you play the game, like Souness would say. Let me know what you are thinking of doing for your team. But anyway, thanks for watching the video as always. Hopefully coming back again soon, today, tomorrow, with another video. Just keep an eye out on the channel. Turn subscriptions on, or notifications on. Like the video, please, if you enjoyed it. And obviously subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed. See you on the next one.